Yes, sir. Hey. Bino been burning that paper real quick. Just rapping and stacking and counting these digits. Sauce unfamiliar is definitely risk. Made it through mud, now our fabric is this. I've been the type who would run any chickens, but life has a method of making us pivot. Purchased a package of funds as a critter. You get in the wave and you better be swimming. My team on my back from the cotton they picking. Fuck, I look like getting honorable mention. Met me a model, her IG is hitting. If she get with me, then she know how to pick 'em. Life in the fast and I'll take it no different. You save up the bread to create your own pension. You nice, but you work.
What's up, fellas? It's your boy Schemer back with another episode for the Dynasty. We're here to talk about average wins per season. What will owners do the entire cycle for the DML for Madden 22? How can the average per season? For example, if you get 12 wins in one season and then 6 wins the next season, that's 18 wins. That means on average, that's 9 wins a season at that point. So who will average double-digit wins? Who will not? Couldn't do the show alone. We got Bino on the show with the Eagles. What's up, Bino? Thanks for coming.
What's going on? What's going on? Y'all know what time it is, man. New season, new console, new game, new shows. Come rock with us, man. Another day, another dollar, man. It's a beautiful start to the season, man. I'm very, very excited.
Oh, yeah. It's time to make your mark. We're not going to take long to dive into the show. Okay, we're going to go to the AFC East. I got the Bills with Freight Train, averaging 8 wins a season. I got Sight working the Dolphins, averaging 12 wins a season. I got Sweets with the Patriots, averaging 11.5 wins a season. And Squire with the Jets, averaging 5 wins a season. Okay, Bino, what's your take on the AFC East?
I think what you have is pretty accurate. The question mark, I think, in this division in regards to the average of wins will come between Tight and Sweets, right? I expect Squire to raise his game up a little bit. You know, I think we all know what Freight is capable of when he tries. You know, I think he can easily get 8 wins if he really wanted to. But in regards to Tight and Sweets, you know, that's pretty much a heavyweight battle 2 times a year at a minimum, right? So that's where I think the difference comes. And from what I've seen as of late, you know, the rumblings that I'm hearing through the grapevine is that the dev is back. All right, the dev is all the way back. So I would have to give Sweets the nod in regards to who wins that division in regards to averages, probably around like 12 to 12 and a half, and give Tight the 11 and a half. That's my take, honestly. I think that's going to be a very tight division, man. It's really going to be interesting how that shapes out.
Right. And I think you got to look at Freight too. 8 wins a season. It's not bad, especially if you win 10 games. Come back and win 6, then 8,
right? Then
12, then 4. I think you always have more than 4 wins, but you can have some big, great seasons and average 8 wins a season. You know, some people might go to sleep in one season. Have a 12-win season, and then come back and win 4 games. Hey, the average is 8. So I expect Freight to have some big seasons, but also gonna be times where he hit the 3rd place. Get ready for 3rd place. Hold on.
If you have a 12-win season and come back and win 4 games, your average ain't 8. Your average is tank. Okay, let's just put that out there. Somebody got the tank back then, got the M1 Abrams. If you win in 4 games after a 12-win season, but that's another show for another day. My bad, Scheme. Back to you.
All right. Moving on to the next division, we got the Ravens led by KP. I got them averaging 11 wins a season. The Bengals, I think they'll make 4 wins this season. That's the big homie. And then you got A-Force with the Browns. Got him averaging 12 wins a season. And then Easy 3 wins a season with the Steelers. What's your take on this division, Bino?
I honestly think this division is quietly slept on. Right. I think some of the numbers that we have here are pretty accurate. I think Force is definitely going to dominate the entire division, the whole cycle. That's my expectation for him. But I think there's some sleepers in the Bengals and the Steelers. I think we probably need to put some respect on their names, man. You know, Easy E is not a slouch. You know, so I think it's going to be a harder fight in that division, especially after the first couple of seasons. You get your drafts in, you get your schemes right, you get the playbook that you want. But I think overall, who you have winning the division is accurate. But eventually, those users and the Bengals and the Steelers are going to have to make us put the respect on their name and increase that average.
I would agree. I think it's very accurate. Big Homie and EG probably gonna be at the top of the board when it's time to draft top 5. But Big Homie might knock a couple of guys off in that division here and there. So keep your eyes open.
All right.
Moving on to the AFC South, you got HBO with the Texans. I got them averaging 8 wins a season. I got Gavin with the Jacksonville Jaguars averaging 11 wins a season. And the Titans with JB, 8 wins a season. And I got the Colts with SJ averaging 9 wins a season. What's your take on this division, Bino?
I think this is probably the best. I completely agree with the entire average take on the image that you guys see here. The only reason why is because really a lot of these teams, with the exception of the Titans, are in a rebuild. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take time for those players to actually be, to reach their potential. And on top of the schemes and on top of the actual playbooks and the coaching trees and all that good stuff that's in this new Madden. So I think this is like the most accurate one. It's really a toss-up every year. I know we expect Gav to dominate the division, but it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time for those Jags to kind of catch their stride and get in motion. So I like this, man. This is actually incredibly accurate. I'm excited to see what H-Bo is going to do with them Texans, though. That's going to be electrifying. I think he has plans to pull some of the Lamar out and what's his name, Deshaun Watson. So, and then the Titans, that's going to be a tough team too. So we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting, but this is going to be one of the most interesting divisions to actually watch over time.
Oh, it will be. And look out for HBO to show some emotion. Because if you got the Colts at SJ averaging 9 wins and him 8 wins, he going to feel some type of way. So look out. Look out.
Yeah, and I think this on top of that, especially because I think SJ and H-Bo were in the same division last cycle too, right? So I think H-Bo probably think, he got SJ number or something like that. So it's going to be interesting. And then Gavin that division, I'm excited for the poo, the videos. That's going to be funny, man.
All right, moving on to the AFC West. You got the Broncos led by Flair. Got an averaging 6 wins a season. Styles has the Chiefs. Got an averaging 10 wins a season. I got the Raiders. I believe I can average 10 wins a season. And you got Dub C with the Chargers, 10 wins a season. What's your take on the AFC West?
I think this is, at least for the first couple of seasons, this is accurate, right? Madden-wise, for the Broncos, it's going to be a difficult time to adjust to Teddy Bridgewater. I know they have a good running game, and Flair, he likes to use his running game often, but to be real, that team is also in kind of a flux type of rebuild with the exception of the secondary, who's outstanding. The Chiefs, the Raiders, the Chargers, they in win now mode, right? So I would have to agree with this take. The question is the stick skills. Who's going to dominate the division, right? I'm not really sure who that person is. I would assume it's the Chiefs, right? But if you talk to Styles, he has a slice of humble pie, right? That he's chewing on until the season starts. So this is going to be another interesting division. I'm not really sure who's going to dominate, which is why I would agree with the averages that you guys see on the infographic. I completely agree with this one, at least for the first couple of seasons, till we see how these teams are being managed from an ownership perspective.
Right. And you said manage, a word that begins with the letter M. Well, guess what? Mm-hmm. Maintain is key too. Maintain and manage. You have to maintain a great level of play to average 10 plus wins a season. You can't slip.
Yep.
You have a 6-win season, it could be over. Your average could just drop, plummet. So you got to maintain, like you said about Sweets averaging 12, 13 wins a season. You have to maintain that. You can't have 9 or 10 wins or your 13, games a season or your average or whatever will go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to call this right now. Here's a bold take for that AFC West. On average, right, in the AFC, there will be a 3-team divisional playoff team or 3 teams from one specific division will make the AFC conference playoffs twice this cycle. And I think they will come from the AFC East and they will come from the AFC West. That's my bold prediction.
Good bold prediction. Now moving on to the NFC East, you got the Cowboys led by King Vitamin, and also Bruce led. Bruce gonna be rocking with the Giants. I got him and King Vitamin both averaging 12 wins a season. The Eagles 9.5 wins a season, led by Bino, and under has the Washington football team. I got him averaging 9.5 wins a season. What's your take on this, Bino? Your own division.
What? I don't agree. Are you serious? You telling me out of 17 games, there's 17 chances. You giving your boy Bino half of his games and possibly another one of them things. Like, come on. I don't agree. You know what I mean?
Hey, show me what Jalen Hurts can do. That's all I can say.
Hey, give me a few seasons. But for real though, it's definitely pretty accurate on the surface, right? The Cowboys are definitely in win now mode. They have to be averaging, at least up there. I mean, for real though. I mean, if you look at it, their offense is almost unstoppable. With the exception of anybody to actually burn you deep. And then the defense is young and fast, right? So that's a pretty good team to inherit. And when it comes to Bruce has always been a good user on the sticks, man, especially with those New York Giants. I think that's the team that he wanted too, right? So I'm sure he has a plan for him. And then you got the fastest quarterback in that division by way of Daniel Jones. I think he got an 88 speed in Madden or something like that. So and then there's the Washington football team with that style defense. And the only piece that they really need is a quarterback. So this entire division is like 1 or 2 drafts away from like having constant playoff, teams in the NFC. I do agree. I don't think that the Washington football team will average 9.5. I got them in, the 8.5, 9 range. I think initially, Bruce will not be as strong as we're used to him being right off the rip. And I know me saying this is probably going to give him some motivation. So you're welcome. And then Vitamin, right? I think everybody's pegging Vitamin as, the leader of this division, which is, rightfully so, right? He got a couple of playoff appearances in the last cycle, and then he inherits the best team in the division. What else do we expect? And then honestly, I got myself at probably around 8 wins, honestly, on average, right? And I know it sounds like a low ball, but I'm gonna be real with myself. It's gonna take a few cycles or a few seasons to actually draft who we need inside of Philadelphia, and also get adaptive to different people's play styles with the new Madden. So, Styles gave me a piece of his humble pie, and now I'm chewing on it. So that's my take for this division. It's going to be really interesting. I really do like the dynamic of how everything is shaping up in the dynasty right now in regards to division and how it kind of fell with the team draft. So it's really interesting to kind of deep dive into and talk about, and then turn around and see it in the stats, right? Some of the games already been played, so it's been really interesting. But this NFC East, along with other divisions, is going to be extremely interesting and competitive.
Oh yeah, it will be. I can see some small seasons, and I can see somebody have some okay seasons or whatever the case may be. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Because I guarantee you, one of these seasons he's gonna pop a 10, 11, 12 win season. We don't know when it's gonna come, but it's gonna come. All right, moving on to the NFC North. The Bears, led by Bus, who average 12 wins a season. Taz, don't disrespect him this season or this cycle. Got him at 8 wins a season. Green Bay Packers, led by Chris Murray, 10 wins a season. And the Vikings, 8 wins a season. What's your take on this division? This is gonna be strong, man. This is the one I'm looking for. This is my most exciting division, because anybody in this division can beat each other on any given day.
Gav is the Vikings?
No, that's Maurice. Maurice has the Vikings with 8 wins a season. What's your take?
I think Maurice got the Saints. Oh no.
No,
You're right. Okay, so and that changes the dynamic, right? Oh my goodness, this is gonna be another interesting one, man. Like how
yeah,
did
this
this all
this
the
my
way that
favorite
it
one.
did?
This is my favorite one to watch.
Yeah, I think it's up there for me because each one of those users, and I use this analogy a lot last year, last cycle, chess-like gameplay, right? Each one of those users has a chess style type of gameplay. We haven't seen it much in Chris Murray in the last cycle. He had a superpower, speedy team in Arizona where he was kind of one-dimensional. But I think Green Bay is going to bring out, that chess-like gameplay back for him. When you got the bus, you know he's getting. First off, the bus should be up there in the 14 range. Let's just keep it 100. Right? I mean, I think he should be averaging 14, 13 games at a minimum. We can't give Sweets 12, 13 and not get a bus who got, I believe, at least 3 banners and maybe 5, 6 appearances in the last cycle and inside the dance, right? So I think we need to go ahead and increase the bus. I think the bus been quiet on purpose, lately.
Do you realize? Do you realize he has to go 14-3 each season? Each. So if Bus get 10 wins one season, that average is destroyed.
But okay, so let me combat that real quick. If the Bus play 1v1 right now against 75% of the league, is he winning that game? Would you put your money up on Bus beating anybody 1v1 right now, the way the teams are today?
You gotta see it, man. You gotta see it. Gotta see it.
I hear you.
You gotta understand, Bus win the division title. Okay, let's say Bus wins the division title. Well, he's gonna have to play the winners of every other division title, which would be a big time matchup. Can he win all 3 of those? First place schedule. It's like, then is he gonna beat Chris Murray every single time when they play? Can Maurice pull a couple of upsets? Taz plays Bus, a little bit hard at times. Bus will be the favorite and the king of the division, but it's just those little games here and there. Can he maintain? Can he beat somebody 20 times straight in that division? You got to wait and see.
Didn't we see it though? We seen it already, Ski. Last year was proof.
We did. We did see. It's a new cycle, I will admit, but there's a lot of elements to that. You had coaching changes and stuff like that. It's a lot of elements. Trades. Yeah. Bus did his thing. Bus always been great in terms of getting to the playoffs and dominating his division. And then if he doesn't win the division, he still make his way to the playoffs. But I'm looking at coaching too. You know what I'm saying? People are going to make changes to their coaches. That'll happen. But just these guys in this division, this is the style of play. So we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see exactly what happens. But I'm going to stick to my word with 12 wins a season with Bus. That's how I see it. I don't see no other kind of way. And that's deep. 12 wins. That's what the big boys.
It is.
That's the highest average on the board. You know what I'm saying? So he up there with the elite. He up there with the elite. Now, if you want to just add an extra game to everybody, feel free.
Nah. Bus though. Come on, man.
Even 13 and 4 every season. Even 13 and 4 every season is good.
Yeah.
You want to give Flash 7 wins? No, I don't think so.
I don't know, bro. I'm gonna leave this division alone because it's tough, but I just think we gotta put some respect on the King's name, man. The Bus is definitely the king of the dynasty right now, man.
The respect is on the board. 12 wins, and you're up there with the elite guys who got banners. So I really don't see no disrespect at all. You just looking at him to go 6-0 in that division every year.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Even with those 6 wins, you still got out of division play. First place is scheduled every year if you dominate like you're supposed to. So is he going to beat King Vitamin every year or Bruce every year? You got to wait and see. Is he going to be Expert every year? Jay Ramsey? We got to wait and see. We don't know. Okay. And Ralph Matic, if he wins the division title, he can give Bus a good run for his money at times. Marley can. Not sure about Nasty Newt. And C-Rod depends on which one shows up. But I'll have Bus winning that game.
Word.
Well, speaking of C-Raw, we're gonna move on to the NFC South. We got Nasty New averaging 6 wins a season with the Falcons. C-Raw will average 8 wins a season with the Panthers. I expect some playoff appearances. The Saints, led by Marley, averaging 10 wins a season. And then you got Raffomatic with 9. Now, this is another division where my numbers could be far off. I mean, this might be the farthest off average, out of all my takes. I might be the furthest off in this division because it's unpredictable. You know, which Marley gonna show up with the same? Marley could become a 12-game winner, realistically.
Yep.
Nash, I could be lower than 6. We don't know. He could be higher. He could get 8. C-Rod, he might win like about 8 or 9 games every time, but then slip and have a 4-win season. So it might go below average. Raffomatic might become an 11-game winner. We don't know. So this is another division to keep your eye on. What's your take, Bino?
I actually think this is pretty accurate from an average perspective. However, I would give just off the muscle for the rating and whose face is on the cover of the game. We might have to, see if Raffomatic makes some changes or to his gameplay or whatever. But that team ready to go in Tampa Bay. They ready to go right now, right? A few trades for a cornerback would definitely do some justice. But this is definitely going to be another good division. I'm not really sure who's going to take this one. And I can't even speak on, the Atlanta Falcons or what we're used to seeing because like you said earlier, Scheme, it's a new console, it's a new system. It's a lot of different micro factors into that average, right? So for right now, I would have to say this is accurate, right? There's a lot of potential in this division specifically, but we haven't seen it come to fruition yet. So I would have to agree with what you have here.
Right, and we haven't. These guys match up real well. Nobody should be afraid of nobody.
Right.
C-Raw has a nice team full of speed. Nash Snoop got Pitts, Jones, and the Buccaneers is loaded with talent. All Raffomatic got to do is press X. The Saints loaded, just press X on defense, and you should be okay. But we're gonna see. Moving on to the next, we got the NFC West. We got your boy Expert with the Cardinals averaging 12 wins a season. We got the 49ers, led by Jay Ramsey, 12 wins a season. Seahawks taking over by Centaur, 3 wins a season. And you got the Rams averaging 4 wins a season with skill trade. Now, Centaur, I think he'll get more than that thing when I created it was somebody else on this team. So I will have to respect him and at least give him about 6 wins a season. And that means that he could get slightly a playoff appearance. But boy, with Ramsey Expert in the way, I don't see it. It could be a 0 trips to the playoffs for Centaur, just because of the position he's in. But we'll see. What's your take on the NFC West?
Yeah, I think this is accurate, man. I would have to agree with the nod on Centaur, man. I mean, I was just thinking when I seen the 3, and I'm thinking, he got DK, he got Russ. In a comparable defense with Jamal Adams, I think Centaur could do a little bit with that. But in regards to the heavy hitters in this division, Expert and Jay Ramsey, man, I would have to agree with 12 for each of them on an average, right? With the Arizona Cardinals, first off, I think the Arizona Cardinals are also another team that's just ready to go. They're not even a piece away. They just ready, right? They just ready to ball, for a Super Bowl. So they should be competing out the gate. I think we all know what Ramsey's capable of, especially from last cycle. He been to places I ain't never been before. So we're just gonna leave that one where it is. But I don't know who's gonna lead that division. I think every year might be a new divisional winner between Ramsey, Expert, and possibly Centaur. And I'm hoping the Rams step up a little bit because they also a team that's ready to go. Aaron Donald, young Jalen Ramsey, Matt Stafford. Right, like they ready to go. So this could be the toughest division in the entire cycle, right? Provided the users prove it out that way. So I'm looking forward to see more from the Rams and the Seahawks, kind of adding balance to the heavy hitters in the division, Ramsey and the Expert. But it's another interesting division, man. It's so crazy how all of these divisions kind of panned out, man. I don't know if it's that or the fact that we all just ready to get this thing started. There's been a lot of excitement built up, but it's so interesting to see the balance of how the teams were selected. But yeah, that's my take, man. We gonna see. That NFC West gonna be crazy.
It will be. Centaur. Did I hear this correctly? That he has a chance at the division title?
I think so. I think so. I think so. If he maintains, like you said earlier, not just manage, he has to maintain that team. There's a lot going on with that team, and there's honestly inside of the Seahawks there are weaknesses, that we don't really see because of the DKs and the strengths, right? Who's their running back right now? Can you tell me? Because I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the weaknesses. Exactly.
Carson's a good running back. Carson's a good trade bait as well. Carson is a real good running back. They also have Penny, still on that team. But he's up there with the big Jacobs guys who can really, lead the game when it comes to like power running. So he's a power back that can really force guys to put 8 in the box. So if you use him right, he could be a factor. But we'll see. Right. But you know what? I got a trivia question as well.
Oh, snap.
Even though the highest average is 12 across the board, who has a chance, the best chance, name 2 users, has a better chance of winning more than 13 games on an average basis?
Outside of the bus. Outside of the bus. Let's skip over the bus. I'm gonna probably have to say, oh my gosh, 13 is like a perennial playoff team. So what you're asking me is which team do I think is going to be in the playoffs almost every year, winning the division almost every year? I'm gonna have to say, sheesh, this is tough. I'm gonna have to say Chiefs, man.
Okay, and this is excluding playoffs. When you start talking about playoffs, no wins start going up too. So we just did a show about the regular season during this cycle. So you want to add playoffs to it, man. It really got a bunch of guys that can average 14 wins a season, make a good run.
Yeah.
But my 2 users that can possibly get higher than 12 wins a season on the average basis, I'm going right in that division, in NFC West. Expert is one of them. Expert used to win the 13, 14 games. He's done it before. Yeah. And you got to go with guys who are relentless. They want to win every game. So you did pick a good one in Sweets as well. You got to go with guys who are relentless and take every game seriously. No time off. Because sometimes you go in there, you be like 4-1, be like, oh man, yeah. I'm good, I'm good. Or guys have a big season and then a meltdown. You got to go with them guys that have a great season and do not have a meltdown. So, because the old KP who got the Baltimore Ravens, you just never know. He can get you 13 wins and come back and win 7 quickly. Now you're like, oh God, you're not winning 13 games a season. So I'm gonna go with Expert and Ramsey. And I know they're in the same division, but I got a funny feeling that those are you pick Bus. Yeah, Bus is 1 too. So I'm not gonna take yours. You pick Bus.
Nah, I'm skipping over the Bus. I actually, let me add my second pick real quick. I think Force can average 13 wins a cycle.
Again, another user who gotta be relentless. Is Force gonna be relentless? We have to wait and see. There will be times he might go on vacation, miss like 4 games in a row. We have to wait and see. All that factors into that too, a little bit. Now, if he's on point and don't have a vacation, mess up his wins and losses, yeah, he has a great chance of doing that. That's it. I mean,
this
King Vitamin with you and Bruce and Washington football team, I'll keep it right at 12. I don't think he's not going to get higher than that. Because everybody in that division is capable of being Vitamin on any given day.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man.
All right, that's all we have. Anything else we know?
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all stay up to date with the rules. Make sure y'all stay up to date in the Discord. Make sure y'all post y'all trades. Let's just have a clean cycle and make Dion life a little bit easier. Continue to, like and follow us, man. Make sure y'all producing some sort of content and getting your skills right. I don't know about y'all, but before I start the game, I go ahead and read the rules out loud. You might catch me on the stream reading the rules just to make sure it's baked in my head. because we don't want that hammer down to come on any of us. I'm looking forward to this cycle though, man. It's gonna be crazy. You know, y'all make sure y'all get your head in the game and stay with the nuances, man. It's a lot of nuances from the rules to the actual gameplay to the team management. So you make sure y'all stay locked and loaded, man.
That's
all I
right.
got.
Look out for the over and under. We getting that out. You know, after season 1 to see how everybody's looking. So look out for the over and under as well.
Yep. Spreadsheets coming soon, man. Y'all holla at us.
All right. We out. Peace.
Peace.